Like so many other kids, I was hooked on playing cricket. Didn't matter if the tar was melting on the street, we would just go out and play. While the other boys stripped down, I was covered head to toe. Long pants, full sleeves, dripping sweat, and as miserable as I was, this was what was expected of me. I didn't question it. Everywhere I went, I saw people avoiding the sun, even when it wasn't that hot. Even though it was rarely mentioned, we were all very aware how quickly we were judged within our own society based on the color of our skin. And I wondered if people were also judged in the same way elsewhere.
Today we have the opportunity to interview Vic Sarin, an Indian-born Canadian-American film director, producer and screenwriter whose documentary Hue, A Matter of Color has been chosen for this year's Vancouver International Film Festival starting September 26th. It is going to be the world premiere of this film at VIFF. Vic's other work includes Partition, Margaret's Museum, Whole Whale Music, Nowhere to Hide, and Norman's Awesome Experience. He also directed such projects as Partition, Left Behind, and Wind at My Back. He has won many prestigious awards like Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Achievement and Gemini Award for Best Photography in a dramatic program or series. Other than that, he has been nominated for numerous other awards like Leo Award for Best Direction and Best Screenwriter. Wow, it's a great pleasure. And I just want to ask you, how's your experience been with Vancouver International Film Festival?
Well, you know, I go back a long way with the Vancouver Film Festival. This is my fourth film there.
Oh, wow.
So it has been a wonderful relationship between, you know, ourselves and the festival. And this year particularly is very special. They are very much celebrating the BC filmmakers.
Oh.
So I think it's a special time for us. And thank God I have a film this year.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we came to know that Hugh, your documentary movie, is a part of it. Tell us about this movie.
Skin color has been with me from way back when I was born, actually, because of the society I was born in. I was very conscious of it. And it's taken for granted that lighter people are more desirable than people who are not so. You know.
That's so sad.
So I just grew up with that, and I never questioned that. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, I left home, that part of the world, at a very early age. And once you are into the so-called Western world, which I grew up in Australia, lived in States, and of course Canada for a long, long time now. Mostly Western countries where you would hear about racism. You hear about, you know, us versus them kind of thing. But then I asked myself, yeah, that there is some honesty there. Mm-hmm. But the world did not become aware of racism if there was any such thing only 300-400 years ago. Mm-hmm. What about before that? What was like? Were we all very harmonious? We were all loved each other? Mm-hmm. And the answer came no, because long before colonization, we were still gravitated towards lighter color.
Yeah.
If you take a look at Omar Khayyam's poems, they always celebrate the lightness, the brightness. In our fairy tale stories, always lightness. Our Krishnas and gopis are always lighter like milk.
Oh, wow.
In our vocabulary, we say there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Always light. Light means life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something which we started to talk about. It has been given to us by nature, maybe. So I asked myself, is this something natural, the way we feel, or is it something the society has given to us? Mm-hmm. So that was my kind of a journey in this film.
I see.
To experience that for myself.
I see. Okay.
Is it just me who feels this way? It's natural, or do other people too? So I thought it would be nice to explore that in a film.
Okay, great.
So this is how the whole thing came. Okay.
And in this documentary, I know you talk about, say, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, how there was racism seen in different countries. But how relevant is this theme right now?
I think it's as much as today it was 100 years ago, 50 years ago, because now the only thing is it's gone a little bit underground.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more subtle now. It's not as open as it used to be. I'm not intellectually looking at the subject. I'm looking purely on an emotional level. But plus also, I need the evidence. And if you look at the evidence, the business of lightening creams, and in other aspects which is not related to things, but getting your hair straight and everything else, there are tons of these kind of things available to you, basically in the Asian market, African market. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. So maybe on the surface you say it doesn't matter, but the evidence shows
It still
all
matters.
that business so big in our advertisements, in our movies, in our business. It still plays a huge role. And of course, in India, a place like India matrimonial side,
Yes, that we can still see.
it's very much alive there. So
Yeah.
I think the evidence is very strong. So it hasn't gone there. And
Yeah.
that's what led me to ask myself, is this something natural, just came to us, or is it something which we acquired from over the
From
time,
nature, yeah.
from different aspects of humanity?
I see. Yeah. And were there any surprises or any challenges during the making of this film?
I feel so fortunate that they give me all this money and then they say, go pretend you're a director or you are whatever. So
Yeah.
I love making movies. That's what I do. Making a good film is always a challenge, but this particular film was very difficult
Oh, I see.
because it's a film which has no beginning, no middle, and no end. There's no story.
I see. No climax.
So how do you make a film
Yeah.
which doesn't have those aspects of basic storytelling? And also, you're asking people to invite me into their private world
Yeah.
and open their closet of emotions to me.
Yes.
It's not that easy.
It's not easy.
Especially,
Yeah.
I don't know them, they don't know me. So it was a little difficult, but on the other hand, what I found, once you made the connection, it was like the whole dam just opened up with emotions. Once they felt of like to talk to me or they felt at ease, the emotions just came out. And
That's
that to me
right.
was absolutely wonderful
That's wonderful.
because I want people to be honest with me.
That's right. And so, do you think documentary movies are still being watched by many people? And do you think it's going to be liked by people? Because the theme is so good. I agree with that. But as you said, like there is no beginning, there's no middle, there's no climax, there's no end, and we still need to make it kind of interesting so people watch it. Do you think there's enough material that would make people, first of all watch it and then think about what you want to say?
I think any film you do, at the end of that, you need to be touched.
That's
Regardless
right, yeah.
what subject, what story, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I am very much the kind of person who loves that kind of films where I touch you on human level.
That's right.
I really don't, I'm not as open to doing car chases, killings and all that. There's some people can do
Yeah.
much better than I can do.
Yeah, action.
So all the films I do, they only interest me because unless they can touch me on some human level. And also this is something about us as human race.
Yeah.
And I think this idea itself, if you watch the film, will have those elements for you.
That's great.
And it's an honest film.
That's right.
It's
yeah.
not a contrived film. It's not about scripted what I wrote. It's just a conversation between us and you.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm totally open with my feelings. I have nothing to hide.
That's right.
So once you are open yourself, I found people were also related to that. And by going on that path, I felt it brought the honesty which the film deserved.
That's great. No, I totally understand it, and moreover, there were some elements in the film where there is something interesting, like you talked about Summer Olympic Games, and so there is something that is interesting too. So people are not like, it's not monotonous. There is something that is going on, which is good.
No, I tried to take a good cross section
Yeah.
of the people who were touched by this phenomenon. And when I first got into it, the film board felt very strongly that you should be in the film yourself. I didn't want her to be in the film at all. That's the last thing I wanted to do. I actually feel very uncomfortable in front of the camera because I'm not an actor, and I'm quite happy behind the camera, which I've done all my life. But more and more I thought, and they insisted on, I realized it, why it was necessary that I am there. Partly because I'm a man of color to start with. It's easier for you to talk to me than talk to somebody else who is not man of color.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen.
that's right.
So that's part of the thing. Also, to open up other people's hearts and on an emotional level, I needed to share with them, with me, my openness as well. You can't just say, tell me all about yourself, but I'm not going to tell you anything about myself.
Yeah, that's right. You have to open up
So
to
we had to connect on a much more human level,
human level. Yeah.
in that sense. And I think that was necessary. So then I understood why the producers, particularly the film board, wanted me to be in the film.
I see. That's great.
Though I still wanted to keep myself as little as possible in the film. But unfortunately, to tell the story, it got into it a little bit more than I would have liked to see myself, but
That's great.
people will tell me.
Okay, and as we know that you are from Kashmir, so how would you describe Kashmir?
My recollection of Srinagar, which is the capital,
Yeah.
as a child means I was still 7, 8 years old. I still remember that. It was very tranquil and very peaceful. Clean gardens, clean Dal Lake, where we had a little houseboat. I mean, but again, as a child, you see the world differently, But my recollection was everything was very nice and pretty and clean and very simple.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about that over 50 years back now, So
That's right.
it's a long time. Half a century is a long time.
So after that, did you go to Kashmir?
I went there back last time in 82.
82.
And I must say I didn't like it at all. I left right away. It has become a very different place than what I remember that. But again, that's the way it is no matter where you go in the world now.
Yeah, it's not going to
Everything
be
is-
the same. Yeah.
When I was born, the world was 2.5 billion people. We are 7 billion people now.
Wow.
In my lifetime alone, 3 times the world has grown.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter where you are, where you're from, it's all the same now.
that's right.
Growth, growth, growth.
Now, we know that you have made many wonderful movies. Is there any specific movie that is kind of your special, your favorite?
Yeah, I think I like Partition on many levels because it's something which is very much from my cultural background. And in that film I took a high road that it doesn't matter who we are, what we are. At the end of the day, we are all the same.
That's right.
What matters really at the end is whose hand you're holding. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Sikhs, doesn't really matter much. So I feel good about that I think that's what I was trying to get at it, and hopefully some people got it, some didn't matter. But that was my intention. But the film, Shine of Rainbows, I did right after that, which was all shot in Ireland. It's the Irish story. Is absolutely, every time I even, not that because I did it, the fact that it's there, I feel very fortunate to be able to be part of that film.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Do you have any message for our audience, South Asian women?
You know, in this story about colorism, women, I think, suffer more from that than men, by and large, because men are still in a more powerful position, and, you know, especially Indian men, I think in India, I'm thinking of it. And women are still pay a price if they happen to be, you know. But on a positive side, I find the Indian women are much stronger than people think.
Oh, thank you.
My mother ran the house, not my father.
That's right.
Mrs. Gandhi ran India for 15 years, whatever, with a fist. So Indian women are very, I think it's a misconception. People think Indian women are very gentle. So yes, they are nice, but they're very strong.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
I really do.
That's great.
And so I think this whole issue of feeling downgraded because of your dark skin or something, I think Indian women are going to lick it very soon. They're already on the way. They're gonna say, you don't like it, too bad. We're gonna continue anyway. And I think you see that part of that in my film. The story I did in India is exactly what deals with it.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Would you be able to provide some information on any website or any other relevant material that our audience could watch or read to find out more about your films or about yourself?
I think my company, which is called Sepia Films, sepia like the color, they can go to sepiafilms.com. It'll give them everything.
That's great.
The kind of films which we do and what we're doing, you know, all that stuff. So if somebody's interested, I'd love to talk.
Great. Any other thing you would like to add upon?
I just hope I have one more lifetime.
That's wonderful.
So I can continue, because the last 15 years or so, I think I have something to say now. It took a long time to get there.
I know.
But you know, lifetime catches up with you, and I'm an older person now. Listen, it's always nice to talk to, especially people from my background. You know, I just seem to still feel like that. So it's lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you. Really pleasure.